Hey everybody, IzzyCraze365 here, and well, a new variant has dropped and been released, and I figured I'd make a little tutorial video as to explain exactly how to get this variant. So for those of you who don't know, I do enjoy playing Sentinels of the Multiverse, both in actual physicality with the card games, but I love the video game just as much, and if you, well, first off, how do you get variants? The easy way is once variants are unlocked, you can just click the variant here. But some characters, there's two ways you can get them. So Super-Sentai Idealist is still locked, as is Wraith Cosmic Inventor. But I can click this, and I can say learn more to perform a story-related thing, or I can just unlock them because you don't have to do a story challenge. I like to do the challenge because it also comes with an achievement, and it makes me feel like I've actually, earned the hero a little bit. So, we're just going to be going over real quick how to get the variant for Void Guard Idealist. Very specifically, Super-Sentai Idealist. Now, for those of you who don't know the story of the Void Guard, real quick, the Void Guard started off as the Southwest Sentinels. So if you look here, you have the Void Guards, Dr. Medico, Idealist, Mainstay, and Wraith. They were originally the Sentinels team. So they started off as four, relatively weak heroes who kind of formed together and made a group, kind of like the Fantastic Four. And their powers are mostly working together. So it's the only team that has, four cards, each with a unique ability. Skyscraper comes close, but not quite an exact science. And a lot of their cards relate to their signature abilities. So, for example, the Idealist's ability is the ongoing Aura of Vision. With the start of your turn, she may select a player, and then that player draws an extra card. That's pretty powerful. All the characters have a different signature. Like Wraith has a Calignius form, Mainstay has the Durasteel chains, and Dr. Medico has the Hippocratic Oath, and they all say signature on them. And then a lot of their other powers, like for example Dark Delusions, if Wraith is active, everybody gets dealt infernal damage. If the Idealist is active, she deals one target 3 damage. They've got a lot of combo cards, which I think is really cool and really powerful, and it was a very unique deck because of that. Also, despite their relatively low HP values, 13, 14, 11, 14, Dr. Medico's abilities, anything with a little heart here, offers a ton of healing. And if there's an incapacitated member of the Sentinels, they get back up. And they get restored to 3 HP, which is pretty awesome. 3 HP, 6 HP. This 1 second chance can happen whenever Dr. Medico is around. He can just bring somebody back. And they have the highest potential for damage output. They also have the best draw spell in the game, which is Team Communication. Draw 4 cards, play a card. And they have unique capabilities, which is finding a signature, putting it into play, and draw a card, play a card, which this is a phenomenal deck. They've got a lot of really powerful cards. So when they each became members of the Void Guard, I was a little worried, but they did them justice. Dr. Medico is all about dealing himself damage to heal others and then healing himself up. Mainstay is just a bruiser. Wraith is, his Cosmic Inventor form. And Idealist is still no longer a little girl. She's more of a teenager now. And she's kind of learned to control her powers a little bit better. So we have little Miranda Fisher here. With the Southwest Sentinels having, disbanded a bunch, she is now kind of going off on her own and pushing the limits of her powers. Also, every member of the Void Guard, the Sentinels, were in a bunker. And they effectively got this thing called an Oblivion Stone, or Shard, Oblivion Shard. And it enhanced their powers. Oblivion Shards, there it is right there in the description. They're effectively like Infinity Stones in the Marvel Universe, so it powered each of them up. And, yeah, her projections grew in power. So what can she do? Well, now the Idealist's main gimmick is she has 2 types of cards that are unique to her. She has concepts and she has fragments. So anything that is a concept is normally going to be a ongoing, except for one concept, and we'll get to that in a minute. And it comes with a power. So let's take Flying Stabby Knives, which is a upgrade of her Flying Telekinetic Weapons, which was a Sentinels card. So power, destroy all the cards under this card, and then something happens, some amount of damage. if we jump over to another one, Karate Robot, destroy all cards under this card, and the Idealist deals one target so much damage. All of these are powers that rely on her having something under them. And the other card is Fragments. Fragments, they all do something, and then the very last thing that they will always say is put this card under a concept into play. So her cards don't immediately go to the graveyard, they get stuck under a concept. Which is pretty cool. So it's alternate utility. Now, cards that are not fragments, she's got a lot of one-shots which get fragments into play or back from graveyards. Really cool, really powerful. She also has a couple of draw cards. Yeah, draw top 3 cards of your deck. Reveal any concepts and fragments and put them into play. Reveal other cards and add them to your hand. Cards that she has that we need to watch out for. Things that don't fall under this category. She has her Strange Super Ego, which has a power on it, but it also gives her one of the best abilities in the game for her concept, which is she can move cards from under one concept into another, which is gigantic because it allows her to play fragments without needing to worry about where they're going. And then if a different situation pops up, she can just put all of those cards underneath a different one. The card to watch out for in this deck, which is the threatening one, is the Monster of Id, which it increases her damage, but it starts eating all of her other fragments from other concepts. And whenever something moves under there, she deals herself damage, where that damages the number of cards under this one. So this is a self-destructive card. And unlike the other concepts, it's not considered an ongoing, which means it's very hard to get rid of it. Now, if you have the Strange Super Ego out, you can very easily deal with the Monster of Id. Not a problem. Other card that we all want to pay attention to is the Focusing Tiara, very similar to her Thought card signature gear from the Sentinels thing, or the Sentinels deck. At the start of your turn, she can either draw a card or put a card from her hand under another card in play. So she can either power up a concept, or she can draw a card, which is exactly what it is. And then whenever she uses a power, she may put a card from her trash under a concept in play. So if she blows one of the powers that uses fragments and they all go to the trash, she can start shuffling them back under, which is fantastic. Now, things to note. If you look closely, there aren't really any images of her in her Super Sentai outfit. The closest you get is making things up where she's watching a Sentai team and eating some popcorn. And when, obviously when she's, making the giant karate robot. The question becomes, how do we, what is the story requirement for getting Super Sentai Idealist? And they actually just released this earlier this week. So the official release notes for this is, first, 5 concepts must be in play with 2 cards under each of them for at least 2 rounds. Then, in the same game, 5 concepts must be in play and no concept may have a card under it. So, this is a very interesting thing. So, most of the time, well, the Void Guard has actually been very nice because it has been self-contained within those heroes' decks. There have been some, like when you have to do the unlock the Freedom 5 versions of the Freedom 5 members, or if you want to unlock the Dark Watch versions of Expatriate, Mr. Fixer, Setback, and Night Mist, that you actually need to have, a set team, or they have to fight a specific villain, or they need to be in a set environment. Or you have to have a combination of those 3 things, which can get ridiculous because it forces you to play in a very specific way. With the Void Guard variants that they've released thus far, the Super Sentai Idealist included, you can pretty much build whatever team you want and fight in any scenario. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick a scenario and make it so that it is very easy to achieve these goals. Now, things to note. The card that we have to be watching out for is the Monster of Id. The Monster of Id is the card that can actually screw us up here. So we have to be able to plan around the Monster of Id, and fortunately the Idealist's own deck manages to do that quite nicely. So we're going to assume worst case scenario where the Monster of Id just comes out on turn 1. Now she's going to start taking a lot of damage, but also whenever we play Concepts and Fragments, it's going to start getting shuffled underneath the Monster of Id. So how do we get rid of that? Well, first off, if we get Strange Super Ego out early, it won't matter because can just take concepts and throw them under other things, or can destroy a concept with no cards under it. So if we get this out before the Monster of Id goes out, because Monster of Id triggers at the end of the turn, Strange Super Ego also triggers at the end of the turn, so it depends on which one comes out first. And if there's nothing under the Monster of Id, we can have the Strange Super Ego destroy it, and then we can play one of our many other fragments that'll just pull a card from the graveyard and put it underneath a concept, so we'll never have to deal with it. But if that doesn't happen, how do we deal with it? Well, board now can deal with it. Return all cards from under a concept to your hand, shuffle that concept into your deck. That is a band-aid solution, but it does get rid of the Monster of Id for a period of time, and it gets all the concepts back that it had slowly eaten, so that's a very important thing. Other things we can work with, we have Giant Floaty Head. Destroy all cards under this cards, then draw X cards, and then we may either destroy an ongoing concept or environment card. So we can have the Giant Floaty Head destroy Monster of Id if we need to. Probably not recommended. It is a waste of resources, but it is an option. We can also do Bright Idea. Where is it? Bright Idea. And again, put a concept from your trash into play. If we can somehow get the Monster of Id into the trash and then throw it under something, that is the best case scenario, because then we don't have to worry about it anymore. And obviously other stuff like Focusing Tiara is just good to have. But other thing to note is concepts. We've got 2 Flying Stabby Knives, we've got 2 Karate Robots, and we have 2 Giant Floaty Heads. So that right there is all of our concepts. And you'll notice there's only 6 of them, with the exception of Monster Id. So you have something that destroys ongoings, concepts, and environments. You have something that does massive damage to a single target, and something that does massive damage to a multiple targets. So we have to have the majority of these out, which means over the course of the game we need to be able to draw a lot of cards. Now, with that all being said, we're going to go to the setup now that we all know how to unlock Super Sentai Idealist. We're going to start a new game, and first off, if you're ever not forced to pick a villain, I always recommend picking Ambuscade, mostly because he's a very easy villain, and he kind of doesn't do anything. And you can kind of ignore most of what he does, especially if he's flipping traps. If he has equipment out, yeah, you can destroy that, but he doesn't really have any ongoing destruction. He doesn't really get rid of any of the hero's equipment or anything. He just kind of does damage, and he makes himself immune to damage. So if you need a hero that needs to have stuff built, like the Idealist does in this case, we can use him, and we don't need to worry about it, and that's what we're going to do. So first off, obviously we need to have the Idealist, and I'm actually going to have her go last. That way I can have people in front of her build her up. So the question is, what heroes do we use that can build the best? And I actually use the same heroes for a build like this. First off, we're going to go with Team Leader Tachyon. Her base power is each player draws a card. That gives us card advantage. That is more likely for us to draw concepts and put them into play and have the fragments we need to play stuff. Now, granted, this does increase the chance that we are going to inevitably draw into Master of Id, or Monster of Id. I can't even remember what it's called now. But that said, as long as we have an answer in hand that can get rid of it quickly, we're not worried about it. Other characters we want. We're going to have Dark Visionary. So Dark Visionary allows us to look at the top 2 cards of any deck, put one on top and one on the bottom. So we might have a couple of rewinds here, but we're mostly going to be using this to stack the Idealist's deck. And the reason we're going to stack that deck is with our next hero, Amex. So Amex is going to go after Dark Visionary. We're going to have our options, and then Amex is going to use his power of Time Shift and he is going to play the top card of the Idealist's deck. So again, it's not even playing a card, it's just getting the card we want out immediately. And then we have a 5th slot if we want to have it. I'm going to go with a full set of T. It makes Ambuscade's attacks a little bit stronger, but we're not worried about that. Because, well, we're going to have characters that can heal. But we're going to go with Grandpa Legacy. And Grandpa Legacy, because his power is one hero regains 1 HP and uses a power. So that right there is some healing for us. And it gives us the option to use anybody else's power a second time. Excuse me. So, characters that I would like to use a second time power might be Tachyon. Everybody draws more cards. Might be Dark Visionary to get another look at the Idealist's deck. Or it might be Amex if I want to, you know, hedge my bet and play multiple things. So I'm actually going to put him after Amex. So the order right now is everybody draws a card, which is just good. Dark Visionary takes a scry at the top of Idealist's deck. We see what we have. The immediate next turn is going to be, we're going to get to play whatever's on the top of the Idealist deck with Omnitron X. And then based on what we have set up, Legacy is going to pull another power. And the Idealist's base power is draw a card. You may put a fragment from your hand under a concept into play. Very good power. So, yeah, between all this drawing, we will be able to get to whatever we need to do. And as far as environments go, a nice, easy environment I often pick is the block, because the block mostly fights itself. Most of its cards will board wipe stuff, so we don't really have too much to worry about. But it's a fun thing. Anyway, so this is the setup we're going to be using. And again, if there's ever a hero that does not require a specific villain or environment or team comp, I would normally just use this exact same setup. Ambuscade with Team Leader Tachyon, Dark Visionary, Omnitron X, and Legacy, and then whatever the hero is that you're trying to do something with the unlock, and then fight in the block. These 4 heroes have enough damage that they can, you know, normally keep Ambuscade's equipment down low, and you can just let that 5th hero build up until you get to whatever you need to do. So, with that being said, we are going to jump right into the fight. Alright, so as we see here, Ambuscade, and you found you my prey. Onward we go. So he's going to start off cloaked, obviously, and of course he gets out a Sonic Mine. Not too worried about Sonic Mine. It hits everything, prevents us from dealing damage. He has reactive plating, again, not super worried about it. Okay, the explosive launcher we need to get rid of this turn. Automated turret is not as big a deal because it hits the highest hero. Armed and dangerous. Oh wow, he's getting a lot of good stuff. Then he's got a cannon. Okay, so he's got a lot of good gear out right now. And he's now invisible, so I'm just going to choose for me. We don't really care too much about all this stuff. Which player is considered to have the most cards in play? 25, 22... We'll go with Tachyon. Okay, so Tachyon actually has no good cards right now. Alright, let's see what we got first off in our hand. So, Visionary has Mind Spike, Brain Drain, and Rest the Mind. None of those are really useful. Okay, Almax has his technological advancement. We're going to use that to at least get him some DR, which is something he desperately needs. And Ambuscade predominantly uses projectile damage, so we're going to get his normal plating. Take down Bolster Allies. Bolster Allies will be good. It's an extra draw. Alright, so the problem here is we do need to have Sonic Mine get dealt with at some point this turn. And, fortunately, we can't do that right now. So we're just going to have Tachyon do a Nimble Strike. The thing that is the most dangerous out of everything here is the Explosive Launcher, because it deals 3 damage to everyone. So we're going to hit that. Now she draws another Nimble Strike. Cool. And now we're going to have everybody draw cards. Pushing the limits. Decoy Projection. temporal shielding, which is garbage for us. Thok is okay. Making things up. Excellent card. And HUD Goggles. That is a card we do want. And what does she have in hand right now? She does have a good number of... She has 2 Making Things Up. Okay, unfortunately she does not have any other things. Whenever Visionary will be dealt damage, redirect that damage to this card. We're going to ignore that for now, and we're going to keep on trying to burn through this explosive launcher, because it is the most powerful card she has. We're going to take a look at Idealist's deck. Search your deck for a concept and put it into play. Shuffle your trash into your deck. Put this card under a concept. And Flying Stabby Knives. Okay, so being perfectly honest, I like both of those. So that was kind of a waste. So we're just going to go back to use power. And again, we are cheating a little bit in this story mode. So instead of doing that, what we're going to do is we are going to take a look at the Ambuscade's next couple of cards. Also fine. I kind of want to get rid of that Sonic Mine for now. Oh, and she has Mass Levitation now, which will pretty much mean that the block is no longer a problem ever. So, what we do is we're going to play Technological Advancement. We are going to get Ablative Clothing, I can't pronounce words, which reduces melee, projectile, and toxic damage to Omnitron X, which is awesome. Now I can use a power, and I am going to just straight up use this power right on the Idealist. Put that into play. Okay, so now I can get a concept into play. Which, let's see. So here's the thing. Ambuscade does not have ongoings or anything like that. X is number. So we are going to just pull a giant floaty cat head. And that was put under giant floaty cat head, which is awesome. Okay, next up we are going to Flying Smash. I could Flying Smash, or I could have everybody draw a card. 3 targets, 3 melee damage each. What's this? Deals with the most cards in play, that's going to be the Idealist. What's this? The highest HP? Yeah, doesn't matter too much. So we're going to hit this. We're going to hit this. And we're going to hit this. And next up, we're just going to have a hero use a power, which is going to be Omex. He's going to use this power to time shift the Idealist. Okay, that was a poor decision on my part. Board now is great, but it is not great for this. So what we're going to do instead is we are going to have Tachyon regain an HP, and then have everybody draw a card. So she sucker punches, and then that way I instead draw my board now, which is great for if I ever get Monster of Id out. Rogue Interception, also nice. Need some good damaging stuff. Okay, so let's see. Draw 3 cards, discard 2, play any number of concepts from your hand. You may play a fragment. Let's see, I do have 2 concepts. Oh, what's this? Vivid Thoughts. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Put any revealed concepts and fragments into play. Put other revealed cards into your hand. She does build quickly. So with this, I draw 3 cards, discard 2. Not quite there yet. So let's see. What do I have here? Put a concept card from the trash into play. Put the top card of your deck under that concept. Idealist regains 1 HP. Each non-hero target takes 1 psychic damage. Draw a card. Okay, well... Oh, I love focusing Tiara. Alright, so this is going to deal 1 sonic damage to everything. So, first things first. Conceptualize, also good. Now, giant floaty cat head is in play. No, what is this? Draw a card. You may put a fragment card from your hand under a concept in play. I'm going to skip this because I do need to get out more concepts. Cool. Okay, so right now the Sonic Mines, the big problem with the Sonic Mine is I knew that was coming. Okay, I do need to get rid of that automated hand cannon now. So first things first, we're going to play HUD Goggles. Then we're going to play Pushing the Limits, which just gets us an extra card right now. It doesn't really matter too much beyond that. Then each non-hero target 1 damage. Fortunately, that is going to hit everything else. It's been dealt damage by the automated turret since last turn. That would be... which automated turret? Oh, we're going to find out, I guess. I think it's this one. That was the wrong one. Play a card. Boom. Boom. So it's the second one that it was hit. Good job, Tachyon. Now everybody draws a card. Mind spikes are nice. Technological advancement is nice. Lead from the front is nice. Focusing Tiara is nice. Sucker Punch is nice. 2 Sucker Punches is even nicer. Alright, other than a character card. Whenever that target deals damage, you may redirect that damage to another target. If you do, the Visionary deals... So right now we are literally just in a time to melt everything mode. We kind of want to focus on getting everything down. Does Legacy have... He has Flying Smash, which is 3 targets, 3 damage. So, need to be able to knock these guys down by a little bit more. Hopefully I can get Flying Stabby Weapons out for the Idealist to finish that off. But for now, I'm going to focus fire some stuff. Now we're going to take a look at the Idealist's deck. Idealist regains 1 HP, then deals each non-hero target 1 psychic damage. Draw a card. Put this card under a concept in play. Idealist deals 1 target, 1 irreducible maybe. Okay, I like both of these. So we're just going to bounce her back. Take a look at what Ambuscade has coming up. Another one of the guns. Well, we're just going to have him do the tripwire, because that's easy. And now let's see. First things first. This power is so good. Technological advancement. Bye, automated turret. Bye, cloak. There we go. Better punching. Went under giant floaty head, of course it did. And the other nice thing is I can just immediately get rid of anything. Okay, so I can put lead from the front down, which would be nice, but I think it's just a better idea ultimately right now to flying smash my way through these. So we're going to smash that. We're going to smash this. And let's see. At the start of the environment, this card deals the non-inmate target with the second highest HP. Well, it currently doesn't do anything. So we need to get rid of this reactive plating. And again, we're going to have Omnitron use a power, which is going to be used on the Void Guard. Deals up to 2 targets, 2 melee damage each. Put this card under a concept in play. Yeah. The problem is I wish I had more concepts right now out. Just gonna whittle that down. And motivational charge. We now have all the healing we will ever need. Okay, so. Fragment. Draw 3 cards, discard any 2 cards, play any number of concepts from your hand, you may play a fragment. Cool. 1, 2. Okay, cool. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to discard this. Oh, I need to discard 2 cards. Whoopsie! I'm pretty sure there is a concept I have somewhere. Or I had. Oh wait, is it what's Bright Ideas do? Does it take a concept? Okay, it takes a concept from trash. Unfortunately, I am going to be playing all my concepts, so what's this? Turn all cards under a concept. The Idealist deals 1 target X psychic damage, where X is the number of cards. Return this way, +1. I think I can get rid of a Tiara. And then let's see, concepts to play. Robot, knives, and then now I can play another concept. So the Idealist deals 1 target. So I can deal damage. You may use a power if that power deals damage. Or I can pull another concept out, which I think is the correct decision because we need to thin the crap out of this deck. So yeah, thin the deck. More flying stabby knives. We're gonna put it under these stabby knives. Now we're going to draw a card and put a fragment from hand into play. Which, And there's a good card to have. So right now we're doing pretty good. We just need to get up a few more. Alright, you can do 0 damage to him. Lockdown. So destroy all inmates, increase damage dealt by 1. Very basic. Not really threatening at all. Alright, so now we need to watch out for if the rig to detonate ever shows up again. Okay, we need to really start healing her for lots. No. Tachyon has nothing useful right now. It's actually kind of shocking. He's immune to damage right now, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Invigoration Ray. Demoralization is a good card for us to have. We're now going to take a picture and see what the Idealist has got coming up. Again, I like those cards. So we're going to take a look and see what the block has coming up. Okay, yeah, these are fine. Use a power. We're now going to use it on Ambuscade, see what he's got coming up. So card to put on top of the deck, Vanish. Because it won't do anything, because his cloak's going to be out, because we're not going to get rid of it. Heal. Heal. And heal. Now we're going to play the Idealist's card again. Putting that sucker into play! Alright, I do think it is about time Legacy led from the front. Alright, so let's see. Deals 1 target, 3 sonic damage, put it under a card, and 1 irreducible melee damage. Now, this isn't the right way to do this. And now I can use a power. Strained Super Ego. And then I may move something under a card. Idealist, no. Under the Fighting Robot. Let's see. At the start of your turn, whenever you use a power, afterwards you may put a card from your trash under a concept into play. Cool. More under the robot. Void Guard, select a card to move below. So yeah, we're starting to go nuts. And now this deals 1 target, 3 sonic damage, put it under a concept of play. We're just going to finish off the protective plating. And yeah, okay, so right now we just need 1 more concept and a few more fragments, and they need to survive for 2 turns. Legacy Ring is now out, which is fantastic. Just need to get that extra play. Gonna draw a card. A lot of strange super ego right now, so let's see. I have Conceptualize. Conceptualize it is. Gonna get another Karate Robot. Put it under the robot. And Void Guard Idealist, use, I can click a power. And then I can draw a card. Board now. And I'm just going to take the boom box and put it under the Karate Robot. Okay, so right now I have got the first part of the achievement is unlocked right now. So first 5 concepts must be in play with at least 2 cards under each of them for at least 2 rounds. So I'm going to let it go for 3 rounds as I slowly beat up. Lockdown is destroyed, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, the deck is mostly going to fight itself. There's nothing to worry about here. Vanish. Oh, he vanishes, and it's already in play. Shame. Yeah, redirect that to Legacy. Good job, Legacy. You're doing your country proud. I'm just going to sucker punch the personal cloaking device. Play that. Draw a card. Just to get my burst count up. There we go. Lightspeed Barrage. Stuff we need to have. I'm also going to get a little bit more hesitant because Master of Id is eventually going to pop up. Okay, Giant Floaty Head. Fleet of Foot is also very good. Next up, what do we got here? Destroy 1 ongoing or take an ongoing card from a hero's trash and put it on top of the hero's deck. Now I'm going to take a quick look at Void Guard's. You know what? Well, she's safe for now, so we don't need to do anything there. So we're going to just take a quick peek over at what Ambuscade has coming up. Yes, Legacy will take that damage. Sure. Play another one. Gonna play another Invigoration Ray. Because we need healing. Oh, do we need healing. Guess can start building up Visionary as well. Now, as far as stuff happens... Yeah, we need some fortitude for Legacy. So now that the Idealist is pretty much built and it's just a matter of staying off everything, we don't need to build her anymore. We can focus on everybody else and just keeping them alive. So what we're going to do pretty much is we are going to focus on Getting legacy power back up. He's going to use this power on himself. Then he's going to motivational charge onto this guy. And it's not even so much for the damage, it's just to heal everybody up by 1. Now he's another lead from the front. Put a card from hand under a concept in play. Play a card now, so what I'm going to play is I'm going to play a giant floaty cat. No, I'm not. I'm going to play Strange Super Ego. Either move a card from a concept in play to under another concept in play. So this is the point where I do actually want to get Monster of Id out, because Strange Super Ego will be able to destroy it. Deals up to 2 damage. But I need to have Wild Imagination out. Take a concept from your trash into play. No, I thought I had the card that takes a card from... Well, I will move it below this giant fighty robot. Okay. And Void Guard Idealist, select a card to move from underneath it. And then draw a card or use a power. I guess I will use a power, which is going to be play a fragment. Deal damage. Ah, crud. We're going to redo that. We're going to move this, select under Fighting Karate Robot. We're going to just play that, pop him for a little bit of damage. Build up my Karate Robot army. That was one turn with everything. So yeah, lockdown happens. He's now vulnerable. And that's an ongoing, which is not going to stick around for very long. Who has the highest HP? No. first thing is first. Fleet of Foot. This is going to force Monster of Id out. Need more burst cards in the trash. And that right there is pretty much... Oh, there we go. Inspiring Presence. We just need to make sure that Monster of Id does not hurt the Idealist. And pretty much at this point, we're just on ambuscade control. Yeah, we're just healing everybody up. Omnitron can now deal energy damage if we so chose. Play a card. Boom. Play a card. Boom. And then he keeps healing. And we have hit the point where we are self-sustained at this point, everyone. Thanks to the lightning. Stop dealing damage. And lastly, for his turn, bioengineering beam. Now, we no longer need to do anything, so we can get rid of lockdown. If there are any inmates in play, destroy this card. We don't need to worry about inmates right now, so we're just going to use Rocket Punch on Ambuscade twice. Call it a day. Alright, now we've got, oh boy, we've got choices here. Well, we don't need to worry about any of that yet, so we are going to drop down Inspiring Presence to heal everybody, and then we're just going to punch and heal everybody for more. And now no one is really in death range, which is great. Bright idea. Alright, so now we have Monster of Id. Put a concept. Return all cards under a concept to your hand. Shuffle that concept into your deck. The Idealist deals one target. So where's my giant floating cat head? Nope, it doesn't. It looks like I do not, in fact. Alright, so I'm going to drop down a giant floaty cat head because this will allow me to destroy all the cards under a card. Draw X cards where X is the number of cards destroyed this way plus 1. If you destroy at least one card this way, you may destroy an ongoing concept or environment card. So now I get to play a fragment. You may draw a card, you may put a concept from your don't have a lot of fragments left is the problem. The Idealist regains 1 HP, then deals each non-hero target. I'm going to destroy that. Under a concept in play. Whenever you use a power, you remove a card from your trash. And then what would I like to do? I would like to use a power. And the power I'm going to use is play a fragment. Gains 1 HP, deals each non-hero target 1 psychic damage, draw a card. Yeah. Ah, crap, that was wrong. Destroy a card with no concept under it. Then I will use a power, which is going to be play a fragment. You may draw a card. No, can't use that one. Okay, it looks like it's going to have to be this one. Under the cat head. And then Void Guard Idealist, select a card to move under. Confirm. And I am going to stick this under giant floaty cat head. So now we do not have to worry about Monster Avid anymore. Now, this could be a potential problem because there's a lot of Chara's out. So the nice thing is all the inmates are going to be acting at the beginning of the turn. We do need to get rid of that because they will act at the beginning of the turn, which means one of them is going to be dealing a ton of damage. Sure, I'll redirect that to keep that fortitude. No, she could take the damage. Now let's see. We'll start with that. Plenty of damage for everybody. How much is that? That's going to be 10 damage to Char if I did it. So we're going to lightning reflexes that. So I can play a card. Everybody draws a card. Yay! She's just gonna deal with them. Boom. Ambuscade's the only deck we really care about now. We'll put the automated drone into play. We don't care too much about it. We have so much healing now, it's not funny. Yep, there's no need. We're just going to draw a card. We're going to play Reset. Lots of healing as per usual. Defensive blast. Oh well. One less thing for Legacy to deal with. Legacy Ring is the option we want to go with. We're gonna have Omex. Try this again with Legacy. There we go. Build up Legacy. Just gonna be building up this karate robot. I'm pretty sure this is our second turn. I can probably start launching stuff, but I'm not going to. Now it replays, and it's in lockdown, which doesn't matter in the slightest. And Ambuscade's on his last legs now. Like, we could honestly skip everybody's turn, and it wouldn't matter. So yeah, I can just wipe that thing off the face of the planet right now. Which, gonna drop this. I will just do that. Don't need this burst card. Alright. reduce all damage by 2. He can go on the top. There we go. I'm actually concerned that Almex is just going to automatically kill Ambuscade. I'm a little concerned about that right now. Gonna stop dealing damage to him. Play another bioengineering beam. I kind of just want to skip it. Like, there's no need for me to do anything right now because now I need to unload all of the Idealist stuff. Drop the next evolution. I'm going to punch Almex because it's only for 1. Oh crap, but Almex now hits him for more. Derp. Okay. Okay, so then in the same game have 5 concepts in play and no concepts with any cards under them. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to drop Borg now. Gonna hold off on that one. We're gonna just do this one. We're gonna hit Visionary. Select a card to move under. Bark now. Under giant fighting karate robot. That's gonna kill one of my allies. Or an imprisoned rogue. I really need to get rid of that plating. Everybody draws cards. Hedgy hogs. Okay, I need to get rid of that, like, now. Boom. Destroy an ongoing. Demoralize. Destroy a number of components deals. We're just going to destroy all of his equipments now because we kind of need to. I mean, I guess we don't need to. Legacy's up. We're gonna have the Dark Visionary turn on Almax. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to play another concept first of all. So here's the tricky part. This is the end of the turn now. So if this works, I should be able to move a card from under a concept into another concept. So I'm going to move this under this. And then I'm going to use a power. Which is going to be this. And that, folks, right there is how you get Super Sentai Idealist. Honestly, it's not complicated in the slightest. It's just a little bit of, well, just knowing what you're doing and figuring out how the best way is to get it. So, with that being said, we're just going to quickly finish this game. Since we got it, no need to hold back anymore, so we're just going to, that would have been 34 damage total, which would have been more than enough to end the game. And now, we have the wonderful and elusive, Super Sentai Idealist Void Guard. So, Super Sentai Idealist, and if you take a look at her, so move a concept from in play and any cards under it to under this card. The Idealist deals one target X energy damage, where X equals the number of cards under this card. Destroy a card under this card. So she herself becomes a concept, which is kind of awesome because it can't like her other cards don't really interact with her. At the end of your turn, move one card from another concept. It doesn't specify she is a concept, but she does form the head, so that's pretty cool. So, if you like this video, well, hit the like button below or subscribe to my channel. Again, I do make sporadic videos on how to unlock different variants for Sentinels. And again, this one, pretty straightforward. You just had to have 5 concepts in play with at least 2 cards under them for 2 turns, and for the most part of that game, I had all 6 concepts out. And then you had to pretty much clear all of the fragments out from underneath them. So just have concepts in play, but nothing underneath them. And you can easily do that by just using the powers on them, or, you know, playing cards that, you know, return all the fragments and all the concepts, or a concept and everything underneath it back to your hand. So, very useful to do. I thought it was a lot of fun. Hope you all had a good time watching this video. And well, tune in next time as we'll round out the Void Guard. And by the time Cosmic Inventor Wraith's Unlock condition is around, we should have a few more characters along with a new Oblivion game mode. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. And again, I'm IzzyCraze365. We'll catch you all next time. Take it easy, folks.